Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bark Side. Hey, Tara.
Welcome. Nice to see you again.
Hey, hi. We're back.
Hi.
I'm still feeling saying like we're back just because we took some time off for the eclipse and just random things and all that kind of stuff. But hey,
Yeah.
we're rocking and rolling here. It's the Bark Side. If this is your first time watching, it's all about dogs and good things and helping and all that kind of good stuff. Tara, my friend here, Pet in the City, has been doing the pet store thing we're gonna talk more about the pet store here in just a little bit. We're gonna have our dog of the week coming up a little bit later on from our friends over at Gilmore. But we have some news. We have a sponsor and a friend of the
Yeah.
show here, don't we?
Isn't that exciting?
It is.
Yeah.
Nutrisource has jumped on. So you're going to be seeing the Nutrisource logo here for the month of May or whenever. So excited it's almost like we're doing like a real thing here, like we're getting
I know it's
sponsors, and
starting.
I
Yeah.
feel like we're getting kind of fancy here. It's like,
Fancy
hey,
pants. Not
and
so bad.
speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring him back in right here. We have Brad, who's going to be joining us here in just. Hey, there he is! It's Brad
There he
with
is.
Nutrisource. Hey, hello, hi, Brad.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, thanks for being a friend of the show, and just kind of wanted to have you on. For people that don't know Nutrisource, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, the best way to find out more about the company is to visit our website. It's just NutrisourcePetFoods.com. Can walk you through our story. We're a family-owned business, 100% owned by the Nelson family. They've been making pet food for over 60 years and never had a recall on anything we make. So, I mean, it's a very big statement to make. We're proud of what we do. We take a lot of pride in how we make it and the ingredients that we use. And our big focus is really on gut health, aside from nutrition, is we do a lot with a company called Alltech. And they're a company that specializes in fermentation and gut health additives. So what you find in our foods are some of the best pre and probiotics, yucca extract, and several other things to help nourish that gut. We're all about
Well, so
good
you
growth
and
and
never
adequate.
you mentioned there never been recalled, right?
That's
Right,
what
right.
Well, I don't know, Brad. I just got is this if we check this out, I just got a note from one of our producers. What is this? December 1975, Karen in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, um, was not happy with the Nutrisource that she bought. So
Yeah,
any answer to that? 1975, Karen in
just
Sheboygan apparently wasn't
just
a happy
stocking
customer.
those Karen too. I mean, there you go.
I got to give you something. So listen, kind of having a little fun with you there.
Yeah.
You coming on kind of came out of a show we did a couple weeks back, and it was a two-parter, and it was by far the most popular thing we've done besides the bikini episode. And it was about food. I'm just cracking Tara up today, aren't
I was gonna
I?
say, God, wasn't me.
Um,
Nice.
food. We got a lot of response and a lot of comments, and food is kind of a hot topic with
Sure.
a lot of people. We all really care about, our dogs, and that's kind of your name of the game right here. What like when people are asking you all about and you about food, and you're kind of going around the region here to all the independent
Yep.
places and stores. What are people asking? Have the questions changed from people that are buying food for their pets here over the last couple of years?
I feel like COVID kind of brought it into second gear. I don't know if people have been home more and researching more about, pet food nutrition and what should be in their food. There's a lot more companies making, marketing efforts to get that word out that it's more than just, hey, does it have corn, wheat, or soy in it? We've gotten a little more advanced, especially in the last couple of years of really driving down to quality ingredients. Where's this stuff sourced from? What types of vitamin packs are you using? People understand for the first time in my career of, what's a proteinate and what's a sulfate, it's something never used to talk about, but like something with our products, we only use proteinate vitamins, and that's real important because sulfates aren't absorbed well into the system and they can have some very adverse events that could occur within the body. So, it's just kind of more fun now to talk with people in stores, especially staff like Tara has over there at Pet in the City, that are very knowledgeable. Kind of makes you step your game up a little bit.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that with COVID, just because so many people were staying home more, and it's funny the COVID thing. My family's eaten a lot better because we were at home and we were cooking and we weren't going out, we weren't doing all that kind of stuff. So it is, I guess it is kind of a good thing because to me, like if what I've heard about Nutrisource is true, people asking questions for you, to you, and to your stores and the staff people asking questions, it's not a problem if the answers are legit and good and authentic.
Exactly. Yep. No, I agree with you 100%. Transparency is the name of the game. I always say there's should put a little red flag up if somebody says that proprietary information. It's like, what are you hiding there? So at Nutrisource, at least we try very hard to be extremely transparent. That's why I plug that website. Just nutrisourcepetfoods.com. You pick one of the formulas on there, go to the nutrient profile on there, it will tell you things that it would be very hard to find from many other companies, but we have nothing to hide. If there's something they don't like about the food, we feel like they have the opportunity to say this isn't for my dog, but we want to tell you every little component that we have in there.
So and Tara, this is the part we're going to plug you all a little bit. Usually on the intro, we mentioned Penn the City, been doing it for years and years and years. Tara, for you as a business owner, you've been doing this for a long time. What is the advantage to working with Nutrisource?
Well, one, when you work with somebody that's so knowledgeable about their product, that's great for us because we want to learn everything about that. Um, but working with Nutrisource, I'll tell you, that open, honest part is really what I look for. So when I recommend it, I feel good about it. The other part about Nutrisource, we touched about gut health, but gut health affects a dog in so many different ways, including behaviorally, that this is something we talk about daily, like all the time. Gut health is important, and Nutrisource does a really good job of putting that probiotic right in their food, and it absorbs into their system. So we love it. It's our house brand. We recommend it, hard. We trust it, and so if we trust it, we'll hope our customers trust us enough too. So
Well, and that's kind of the name of the game. And we're going to talk next week. We're going to talk a little bit about food toppers, which is kind of a new thing for me and my dog here. But today with the food and the kibble, if somebody's just getting into this and you talk about gut health being important, which kind of makes sense. But I know we just had an episode with my dog recently where he was just acting funny and he was I think he was a little gassy but just really uncomfortable and just started acting weird and kind of changed up the food a little bit and it made a heck of a difference. So I've just seen it with my dog. With that though, specifically with the gut health, why is gut health so, I mean, the gut's connected to everything, so I kind of know that, but
right.
why is gut health an important thing for dog owners to consider?
Well, I mean, again, we're talking about the quality of poop for one. For as the human side, you'd rather pick up a solid than a liquid. A smaller one is better than a larger one. Gut health, I mean, behaviorally, we were talking about too. When you're uncomfortable, it makes you a little grouchy, right? It's a little bit harder to I want to say control your dog, but understand that your dog's a little grouchy and reactive, maybe a little bit. And that could be part of the problem too. I'm sure Brad could tell you about some instances where the gut has played a part, or why maybe even Nutrisource pays so much attention to the gut, because I know I have a very bad stomach and I know how I feel when I'm off. So it plays, it's just a huge part. I don't know how to explain it a little bit better, but it's a huge part.
Without getting too scientific there, Brad, yeah, go ahead and just expand a
Right.
little bit on the gut health.
Yeah, I mean, Tara's right. The gut is kind of like the center of the body, right? It's your immune system. It's 80% of how the body is going to react to anything that happens in it. So if you get what's referred to as a microflora, right? And that's just basically the lining of the gut. If you think of it like, flora in the ocean or something like that, it's going to be flowing, right? You got to feed it with pre and probiotics, right? One's going to help to eliminate bad bacteria or bad flora in your gut, and the other is going to feed the good bacteria, the good flora in your gut. And that's really what the immune system's all about. It's a constant battle between good bacteria and bad bacteria. When the good bacteria is doing better than the bad bacteria, it allows it to, focus on other issues, especially with the animal. Sometimes signs of bad gut health aren't just a loose stool. You can see redness, itchiness, chewing at the paws. That's called pathogenic yeast. And that means that your immune system doesn't have the ability to fight that. It might be working on something else in the body, or it could be the gut itself. So if we get that gut right, it allows the body the opportunity to fix any other issues that are happening within the animal's ecosystem. And that's why we
So
focus on it.
the food thing is obviously really important, and that's the main source of health and nutrients and vitamins and energy for our dog. I
Right.
feel like we've talked about food a lot. I feel like maybe where I get off the rails a little bit is the kibble. And some people think kibble is different. Brad, what is kibble?
So kibble, the simple way to look at it is, you ever have that toy when you were a kid, those little Play-Doh machine where you kind of fill it in, you twist the little thing and those little strings would come out the
Yeah,
side?
yeah.
That's a good way of
That's
explaining it.
Yeah, that's the idea of an extrusion process. Now put a saw at the end of it, right? That's spinning very, very, very fast to cut that kibble into the shapes that you see in there, right? But there's different ways to do that. That's just a quick overview. There's temperatures to look at. When we cook our food, we're going to work under 200 degrees. So we're between 185 degrees and 200. We take what I call slow and low cooking process. It allows you to maintain its nutrients better. You're also able to maintain calories better in there. So those two things are going to lead to a lower feeding guideline. Not every company does that. When you're extruding, again, temperature range can vary. Typically, it's more on the 450 to 500 degree range. So that's going to do the opposite. You're going to cook out the nutrients and the caloric content in there, which means you have to feed more to reach those values that are needed by the FDA. Um, but
Hang on 1 second here. Hang on. I
yeah,
just got one of my little lights went off here in the studio. Did you say slow and low?
that's what I call
Let
it. I
There
don't
you
know if
yourself
you,
go.
go.
That's our first Beastie Boys reference because slow and low is the tempo. There you go.
yeah.
Hey!
That's right. You're right.
Anytime we do that. So thank you. You were the first one. It feels like a little Pee Wee's Playhouse, but much cooler. Anytime we can mention the Beastie Boys, we will do it. RIP MCA. So we've had a little fun right there and learned about the kibble and how the kibble and the food is important. Though, can you? I do feel like sometimes, like some people think kibble is different things. Like kibble's not the little snacky things or something. Kibble is it? No.
No, no. I mean, kibble is food. I mean, you're able to, it's every company's going to be different again in how you do it, but you're able to put a lot of nutrients, vitamin packs in there. You're able to make it a complete diet. Um, and it really comes down, like if you look at like our supplemental base, right? Like the pre and probiotics, the omega 3s and 6s we'll put in for the skin and glucosamine and chondroitin. All those things actually go on post cook. So we'll mix it and, we call it our flavor enhancement, but it's a spray basically. It could be chicken fat, it could be fish fat, it could be something like that at the end of the drying process as it comes out. All our supplements are in there. It's sprayed onto the kibble. So if you kind of think of like a cookie, right? When your cookies come out of the oven, they're really big, right? Much bigger than when you're actually going to eat it. As they cool, they shrink a little bit or they kind of come down, right? Same idea with our kibble. Those The kibble comes out, it's a little bit larger. We spray it, it locks in as it cools. And that's what's going to allow your animal to get, 100% of what we're trying to give them. If it was pre-cooked, I get where you're kind of going with this, then yeah, you're going to cook out a lot of that. That's why we do it post-cook when it comes to the vitamins and supplements and things.
I like this guy talking about the cookies and and the Play-Doh. Like this is, you can tell that you've talked to
Yeah,
actual real people before and had to kind of explain
absolutely.
this, but also working with staff people in ways that kind of, because the Play-Doh and the cookie thing, that really makes sense. So I feel like I
Yeah.
just learned something, Tara.
There you go.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff. What's the Nutrisource website one more time?
It's just www.nutrisourcepetfoods.com.
There you go. We like Nutrisource. Friends of the Bark side here. When we're gonna have Brad back, we're gonna talk about toppers, okay? Because that's the kibble was my first thing. The toppers is my next one. So we're gonna talk about the importance of toppers when he comes back. But Tara, it's time for the dog of the week.
Here we go.
Dog of the week, we have Jerry. Jerry's 7 years old, a male, 35 pounds, kid and dog friendly, from our friends over there at Gilmore. I did see one thing on Jerry. Speaking about the food, Jerry's a little overweight, Tara.
That's what I have heard. Very cute, a little overweight. So what we would probably do there is maybe do a little weight control diet from Nutrisource.
That would be good, and get some walks in right there. But our
Little
friends
bit,
over
yep.
there, GilmoreDogs.com, Jerry just looks like super fun. I have a hard time believing Jerry's overweight. So running around, but very friendly with the cats and the dogs and all that kind of good stuff. Jerry needs a home, 7 years old, so still got a long way to go with Jerry right there, because those little spaniel little fellas, they'll just go on forever. So I love it. Dog of the week right there from our friends at Gilmore. More coming up. That was the Bark side. Thanks, everybody.